to say what an honor it is to be able to stand up here in front of you today, in front of all of you today. Because if many of you know who I am and the life that I've lived, you may have seen me in my time whenever I was down, standing on the side of these streets with a Bible in one hand and a demon in my pocket. So what I'm about to read to you today is from a man much greater than I. When the Son of Man and his glory and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. And the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And the king will answer and say to them, "Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to the one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me." For the longest time, I was one of the least of these people. I'd say about 10 or 12 years, I was in on the streets, and I found comfort whenever I was close to town. There were many a police officer, people from the fire department, some people like Paul Baker, some people like Mike Hollifield. You may know some of these names. I can remember back whenever I was the only one allowed to sleep down here at the library, back whenever they had that big maple tree. Broke my heart whenever they cut it down. So it was a beautiful tree. And it was a place of comfort where I found peace. And I can honestly say, I'm against this ordinance for making these people who are in need to be pushed to the outskirts of town, to the outskirts of city limits. If we push them away, how are they going to receive any help? It's bad enough that they are already walking. They're doing without showers, without food. And many, we struggled in our own diseases. But some are like assured they're seeking that help. I can stand here today and say I'm proud, and I thank God for those who came to me and brought me food. Whenever I was walking around the streets at night, would stop and say, "Zach, are you okay? You need some clothes or some water?" It was a great gift to me in my heart whenever I've seen that there were those people who had this love for me. I stay at the shelter right now, over at the men's shelter. And there are many times whenever people come in and they have nowhere to go, or they don't feel safe to sleep yon way. It can get scary in the woods at night. Something makes a noise, you don't know what it is. You get a little. But anyways, so if they were to be pushed to the outer of the city limits, me, myself, I can't reach them. Whenever they need something to eat, and they need some warm clothes, they need a sleeping bag, if they need just someone to talk to. As of last night, there was a guy who came, I stood outside for 2.5 hours, and he finally came to the decision that he was tired of living on the streets this way. And he just needed someone to talk to reassure him that the decision he was about to make for not only himself, but for his fiance as well, who was there with him, to go into treatment. But if they were pushed to the outskirts of town, they may not have ever made it, because they would have to walk so far to get to where they needed to be, just to hear that good word of love, that good word of encouragement to someone.